Peace, Grand Rising, Grand Rising, peace. I know it's early. Normally I don't do this, but I was definitely pulled to do this morning. Pulled to do it because the Spirit said that this is definitely an example of a masculine being exposed. Okay? Now, I know over the last few days, people have been seeing this man everywhere posted, right? Being exposed. And what does this have to do with you? It's just a prime example of what your masculine is or will go through when it is his turn. Okay? So let's start with how the universe works. Okay? When you don't follow or practice what you preach, you will eventually be exposed later on down the road. And this is why I tell a lot of feminines to stay in your power, stay in your lane, okay? Whether it's public exposure or whether you're being exposed some way, shape, or form. All right. This guy is a love guru who was successful on YouTube. Now, I think weeks ago I said there's going to be a lot of people being exposed for their false teachings, their falsehood, okay, in all different avenues. All right. Those who were once a messenger of God, a messenger of the Most High, turned against being a messenger. Now, some people may say, well, everybody messes up and nobody's perfect. But we have to. That's the problem with us today. We have to stop sweeping it under the rug because eventually it's gonna pile up so high that when you're ready to clean it, it's gonna be more to deal with. You have to face the reality and we have to face the facts and deal with them accordingly. All right? We do not turn a blind eye to what we know is truth. This divine masculine lost his way and became a masculine. He pretty much became a karmic masculine. Okay? I don't need to say his name. You guys, if you know him, you know him. If you don't, you don't. You'll find out. If you're out here seeking truth and answers, you'll find out along the way. This is a prime example of a masculine who's misleaded. And to make you someone who misleads people, okay, the messages might have been genuine, but the vehicle that it came out of was still living in a low vibration. So it's like honor the God, but don't live according to it. You can't do that. It has to be mind, body, and soul. When you take, when your intent is to take what you believe is a profit and turn it into a profit, it becomes a profit. And when the product is no longer living according to its product, its promotions, and its upbringing, and its purpose, okay, it loses its way. It loses everything. All right? People are not foolish anymore. People are actually waking up. People are actually waking up and realizing their gifts, their empathic gifts. Okay? This is just part of the crumble, but there's a whole cake ready to be served, which is called this truth. A lot of y'all masculines will be exposed just in this manner. The DMs will be exposed. You may get a few people, okay? It's gonna happen because the portals are open and the portals are taking, okay? And it's bringing back 5D awareness, all right? They finally open the portal where that so many people are not stuck anymore, okay? They've hindered, they played with the realm, excuse me. And a lot of people who are not supposed to be here have been here. Do you understand what I'm saying? This frequency, this low vibrational frequency, was not supposed to be here. It's not the realm of it. It's just been, this realm has been infiltrated by the low vibrational believers. I told you there's a lot going on in this world that is not truth. And we've been living according to a false doctrine, false prophets, and we've been misled and astray. That way, when a lot of us awaken, we see that we are alone, and you think it's not normal to be alone because society told you that you have to be. But you have to focus on self first. You have to focus on you first. You have to focus on your destiny first. You have to focus on getting to that light so that way you can see a whole new world. Clearly in the tunnel it's dark. You got tunnel vision and your goal is to get to that light. Clearly on the other side of that, down at that hole, it's a light and it's a bright light. And the closer you get to that light, it gets brighter. But a lot of us turned away and went back into the realm of deception. This is why they say a lot of us are born in sin. You're born in sin because the people that guide you misguide you. Your family misguide you. Your schools misguide you. People you love misguide you. Okay? Love is hate. Hate is love. Lust is love. Love is lust. You see what I'm saying? So it's backwards. We're living in a realm where people believe more in the devil than they do of God. That they do not want to mention the Most High. They rather prefer to stay where they're at. Okay? Because it's comfortable. But there is a greater purpose. There is a greater gift of so much abundance, unlimited abundance that you can't even fathom. That you can't even fathom. It drops in your hand. It literally drops in your hand out of nowhere. But we've been pulled away from this. We've been taken away from that. We've been stripped of our power, stripped of our true essence because of the simple fact that people want control over you. This is why I tell people do not idolize me. When you grow forward. Do not grow backwards. You get my message, you grow, you go forward. I'm a messenger and I will do my part as a messenger, you know? So everybody has to get in line. If you've been shown the truth, you wait your turn, and there will be more people coming to the light, which will be more people to converse with, and that includes your partner. That includes your masculine, because once this man's career is going to pretty much be over, because you've you build a foundation off of what you supposed to have been living according to, infidelity, whether it is approved or not. Temptation has got the best of this man, and it's going to end his whole career. Now there may be still some sleepers who may approve, but not today. Today, people are putting their foot down and their foot forward from a toxic masculine, misleading, and stray. All right? Hopefully, you've gotten the message and you didn't idolize the messenger. A lot of people idolize the messenger in a way, a lot of feminine energy idolize the messenger for exposing other masculines. What that masculine has done is expose himself for being just as well as the rest of them. And this is what they didn't like. They knew a false prophet, but a lot of feminines didn't know. We have to stop putting people on a pedestal because they speak good and they don't live it. If you're practicing what you preach, then we know you're walking according to the right path. We have to start. We, the feminine energy, have to stand in our power. Everything wants to be like us. Everything wants to have the powers that we have. We have intuition. We have empathic abilities. We have psychic abilities. We have these things that certain beings on this planet do not carry, which would be the masculine energy. The masculine energy chooses not to live in its true self. And it could seem lonely. But if this man has found lonely before, this woman is going to stick, his wife is going to stick by his side because now this masculine has lost his power as far as his egotistical, narcissistic ideology of what his perfect world is. He's going to get shrunk down little by little to that little boy he once knew he was before he hit that record button. People that put him on top will no longer put him on top. People are going to say, well, we should forgive. We should forgive. But you don't understand that this moment, this experience was someone that you can go to hear them say something, to uplift your spirits. It teaches you and it touches you deep where you will love and respect the messenger and you will idolize the messenger for being of light, or what you believe is of light. And here's discernment. Here comes discernment. Somebody tell you the truth, they deem you as a devil, which is backwards. If somebody, the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. Now, yes, people can fake the truth like he did, but this is why it's important to be patient, and this is why it's important to let shit play out, because here comes the exposure. You will never think someone will get caught just that once. That has been doing it for several years, but it's that one time when the universe said, I'm going to give you your final test, and we're going to see what decision you make. Are you going to stand in your divine masculine frequency, or are you going to shrink down into your karmic frequency because you believe that you are better than the creator that created you? This masculine believed that he was better. And y'all have to realize, you need to realize these things so that way you can understand where your masculine stands. Your masculine stands in denial. And you will have to watch how this plays out. I'm not going to go back and forth about this guy, this love guru YouTuber who gives out messages in his vehicle to women who are desperate to hear it. So they prey on your emotions and they take your money and so on and so forth. You will watch this play out. It's the same thing that's going to happen to your masculine. They will lose finances. They will lose power. They will be shrunk down to a mere man or a mere woman. You just got to give it time. And they will come to you all broken, all damaged, And you will have to have the knowledge. You will have to have the knowledge of what happened to this person, what's going on, so that way you can guide them. Because when they shift out of this alter ego, they're not going to know who they are. And you, as a divine feminine, has to stay in your power so that way you can teach the person once they are in their weakest moment. And I know some of y'all will say, okay, well, if they're narcissistic, how can you teach a narcissist? The way to wake up a narcissist is to destroy the reality they created. In order for you to destroy the reality that they created, it has to be a massive awakening. The massive, grand awakening is for the narcissist. It's for the narcissist who lived according to their ego. It's for the narcissist who thought that they could never get caught. It's for that. Some of y'all awaken before your masculine because you are not a grandiose narcissist. That great awakening, which will be the whole round shifting opposite of what it is, you will not be allowed to be cheating. Single is not to be dating. Single is to be by yourself, to be working on yourself. Single don't mean that you could just go from one female to the next female or to one guy to the next guy. That's not being single. That's socializing. That's in a relationship, a situation ship that you're on a journey. That's not being single. To be single is to be celibate, by yourself, alone, and working on you. But in the realm we live in, there's been misguidance where they're teaching you to just do everything but divine love, but unconditional love. So now we know only what we were taught. Now we know only of what we were taught. That what I say has been out there for centuries, but it's foreign to you because you have not lived according to that. You have not lived according to that. You have to master your last element is to master celibacy, is to master being alone, is to master um self-love so that you can come into union, because that is how you come into union, is loving yourself. Being alone, because you got to love you first. When the universe can see that you are a person of your own being, you love yourself whole. You don't care if anybody else needs you, wants you, desire you. You only care about you, living in your moment. And I'm not talking about living in your moment like YOLO and partying and drinking. That's not it. Living in your moment is actually taking time to sit down, think, lift that inner voice. Okay, think about all the shit you've done in your life and actually forgive yourself, because you're only really battling yourself. And stop battling yourself. Actually sit yourself down and converse with yourself on a conscious level and ask for forgiveness. It's just that simple. And then what will come to you when you surrender, it all will fall into your hands. But then you have to be mentally, emotionally, and physically prepared for the arrival that is to come to you. And you have to know that you yourself was not perfect. So this person too is not perfect. And they will have to go through the same process as you when they realize, okay, when they realize they were living in ego. It's not, it's a collective process. It's a collective process, okay? It's going to take a collective process, a collective shift in order to wake up that grandiose narcissist. They can do it. That portal is open. Now the realm is changing. They have to get the being to live according to its purpose. That's all that it is. A narcissist is a soulless being who does not live according to soul. They only live according to illusion. So if you take away their illusion, okay, by changing the reality, by changing the realm, they will only reflect the realm that they live in. So if it's about love and peace, they will reflect love and peace, and they will have to be held accountable, and they will have to be held accountable and people will want to see, and people will not wait around if they don't see it. People will actually have the strength to walk away. So this is serious, and one of many masculines, and this is just a prime example of what's happening to the masculines, no matter who they are. If they are in denial, they are being exposed. If you're on this video now and you're watching, your masculine is being exposed for their karmic ways. All right? They're being exposed in some way, shape, or form, or they're about to be or have been exposed. All right? So this is this is a prime example of what glitter ain't gold. All it takes is one. All it takes is just one time to screw it up. And it just takes that right time to be exposed for that. It's not a one-time screw up. I'm hearing this like 12 years. But that is that. And his feminine is really trying to hold her composure, is trying to hold and control her ego. Because without her faith and trying to recover and shit like that, she'd have been gone or been got rid of him. You feel what I'm saying? But it takes a lot of strength to put up with toxicity. She needs to know that she does not have to stay there while he sheds his ego. This is the problem. You don't got to stay there in the presence of this masculine because you will never know what he had until you're gone. Just like she talked about, this would be his wife, talked about the many times she left and he chased her. Okay? They will come. But if you give too easy and you don't actually show them that you are not to be played with, okay, regardless to what he chooses to do. If he chooses to mess around with karmic frequency, that is his choice. He will eventually be punished for that. And he is being exposed and punished for that, where he's losing all his work because it was built off of a false foundation. Anything that's built off of a false foundation will fall. It will tower. His whole tower moment is happening. And it's since he took his knowledge to the media, it's the media that will be his downfall. Okay? So what you are successful in is what's going to be your downfall. All right? Whatever your false, uh, whatever you're misleading at is where you're going to fall. All right? So whatever your masculine is doing, dating, will be exposed because especially if they're a narcissist, all what's going to happen is they're going to be exposed for what they're doing. Because they don't like to close chapters with people. They love manipulating people. So if these people decide to come together, if they find each other and really decide that it is not them, that it is him, that shatters his world. That shatters his reality. And you will be a witness to it. You would see, you would witness. You will witness it. There's a female standing outside my house just doing some shit. It's too early for that. She looks like she's holding someone. But like, let me see if I can open up this damn window so y'all can see this feminine in distress. What is she doing? Just standing there in front of my place, looking out my window. She probably see me. She probably see me recording her. I don't give a damn. What she gonna do? Knock on my damn door? Why she looking at my damn house? Exposed. That was a weirdo. What the fuck? Like, hopefully, she going about her business like a regular person. I don't know what the fuck she was doing for a second, y'all. As you know, there's some psycho sociopaths around here, girls. But anyway, let me keep channeling because the universe have a funny way of doing stuff. But anyway, I hope y'all getting this message. All right, pay attention to your surroundings. Goodness gracious. I don't know what the fuck that lady was doing, but she just stopped right in front of my place and just started doing some shit. I'm gonna run it back and check it out. But I know what I saw with my eyes. I wasn't tripping. She looked my shit. She looked at my shit. So hopefully they ain't one of my masculines, little side bitches, whatever the fuck you wanna call them. Cause you know these women could go crazy and they could stalk you, child. They'll come through your house, all that. You know. But anyway, y'all be safe out here. The exposure is definitely real. Peace, love, and light. um, Let me make sure to put on my damn sneakers. Cause I gotta run up. Gotta be that way. Ain't it crazy? Stalker comics around here. She gave me some type of stalker vibe, you know? Type of stalker vibe. Anyway, the universe made me aware, so it is what it is. But yeah, y'all. So just be mindful. This is the exposure that's gonna take. Social media is what they thrive off of. Social media is what they're gonna. It's gonna be their downfall. Okay, it's gonna be more exposure coming when it comes to a lot of these masculines in denial. Okay, because they don't live according to their true purpose. Okay, if you're in denial, you are not living according to your true purpose. You got to be patient because when the wrath of the Most High comes, it's not going to be pretty for the one who chooses to stay docile to the lie. You will suffer. You will live eternal life suffering still. Okay, so be mindful how you live your life out here. Okay, be mindful how you live your life out here. Um, I need to get some more cameras in my house, but y'all watch out for that karmic frequency too. All right, watch out for that karmic frequency. Um, they definitely like I said, when your partner is being exposed, it's only because they know the truth. They either know about you, okay? They either know about you and they don't care, or they know about you and they want to know what it is about you. All right. So be mindful of these karmic frequencies floating around. Um, Always pay attention to your surroundings. You ain't gotta be all paranoid and scared, but be prepared. All right, be prepared. I know I'm on here early, but this is what Spirit wanted me to do. I don't. They said get on there. I usually don't be talking about like people, but I ain't get too in depth in it. Y'all deal with that out there. But on a spiritual aspect, um, the masculine is being exposed. All right, and that's just it's a frequency that's going around. A lot of these masculines, they loving it. A lot of the masculines who have been in the now are loving it. You understand what I'm saying? Because they like welcome to hell. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much welcomed him to hell, and he gotta. I don't even know if he's gonna be able to get his way out of this. Because the more successful you are, the more you're known out here. Okay, the bigger the exposure gonna be. And this man is very known as a love guru. as somebody on a YouTube who's been giving love advice on what should and shouldn't be done. But I told you, people are going to be exposed for what they teach as far as like the lies. Like I told you, like there's no such thing as um, like there is some. This is deep because you have to pay attention to what I'm saying. Don't get in your feelings because that's your ego. Your ego keeps you in motion. Okay, so some people will feel offended by it, but it's the truth. All right, the agendas that we live by today is coming. It's going to come to the forefront. So the agenda, you will find out sooner or later who the misguider is and who had the power that got you where you are today, where you are questioning your own reality and you're questioning your own sanity. You see what I'm saying? So you have to hold the person accountable or the beings who live according to the deception accountable for your demise. We should not be here today worried about who we are as masculine and feminine energy. It's simple. It's very simple. Yes, a female can embody her masculinity, but you don't have to live according to that embodiment unless your partner is a feminine man. Okay? That is the only way that will work because the universe is not going to cut off natural conception. Why would it cut off its creation? See, the universe is not selfish, all right? But the devil is, all right? The universe works in mysterious ways, but the devil works in a crafty way, which means that the devil has to work around God. So if you are a believer in faith and you really have unconditional love, you will walk in faith. You will walk in your light. You will walk in your faith of God. Okay? If you are somebody who feels you are misinterpreting your own identity, you do not need to change the world to approve your misinterpretation of identity crisis. You have to work on you. Just like regular people have to work on them. Okay? We are coming in days where we are trying to divide, but yet we want to come together. We want to be equal, but yet won't approve a man that wants to look like a woman to be with a woman that wants to look like a man, because it's to them, it's not devilish enough. It's not devilish enough. That's not the program to them. But that's honestly because that is the only way that the community can redeem itself. If a woman feels she's in her masculinity, her partner is in their feminine. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's in their feminine. And then they still can coincide and they still can conceive because it's an ideology, it's a mental thing. And eventually, when these two meet, they will reverse energies because they will realize that they were living a lie and they will realize that they were in the wrong place. They were living each other lives in the wrong form. Okay, because you come here with a polar opposite of yourself. Okay, if it doesn't equal conception, it is not. And for those who cannot conceive, it is it's still due to um, tampering with the DNA from birth. Okay, so it's deep, but it'll bring you to peace, and you will know who your enemy is. You will know who you are battling with. If your partner is overly sexualized, you don't blame the female that he is interested in. You blame the porn industry. You blame music who's explicit with sex. You blame stuff like that. You don't turn a blind eye and decide who you're going to pick your fight with is an innocent person who is also a product of society as well. You have to reverse your mindset. That who is in control of your life is the one you turn to for your problems. You don't turn to anyone else while your problem. I can't turn to the community. I can't turn to a person who's promoting the community. I have to turn to the community and speak upon why you want to change the world when the natural order is. It's like taking animals out of their, they got so used to taking animals out of their atmosphere, out of their environment, and putting them in the environment that they believe they want them to be. That is what we are. We are pretty much sheep. We are pretty much cattle to them that they will place and put us wherever we allow them to place and put us like we're animals. And we are not animals. We are no a dollar should not give people the power. This is why they said money is a root of all evil because people will do anything for the dollar. People will lie to you for the dollar. People will deceive you, mislead you, hurt you, destroy you for a piece of fucking paper that did grow off of a tree because at the end of the day, they had to cut that tree down to make that dollar. Okay? So y'all got to start using your fucking brains and start deciphering the code that was placed upon here. It didn't go anywhere. They can never get rid of the code inside you. It's called intuition. And you have to enlighten yourself by studying everything you've been through in your life and where you're going and put these pieces together. Why can't I get in a relationship with my masculine? Well, you can't get in a relationship with your masculine because your masculine is distracted, right? What is it that my masculine is distracted by? They will reflect it. They will reflect being overly sexualized. They will reflect, you know, being programmed that money, sex, and drugs is important, or, females and all this bros before hoes, stupid ideology, all these petty ass, delusional, psycho sociopath ideologies are ruining the world. So you have to be a product of change, not a product of demise. By changing you in the program. This is why the spirit said, when you find out the truth of what's going on, you must live according to it because the universe always resets itself when when these um when these glitches and these programs that are glitching the matrix come in. It's like a computer. You are the you are not the virus. You are not the virus. You are the cure. You are the virus to the virus. Okay? Of truth. You are the truth to the lie. All right? This realm is never going to go anywhere. This plane is never going to go anywhere. Nobody can destroy this plane. Okay? They can only distract it by the people, the beings, the entities, the species, whatever you want to call us, humans amongst this planet. All right? This plane, excuse me. Um, like I said, the truth is going to come out, and slowly but surely in your reality, the truth is coming out. All right? It's not the same, and it will not be the same. If anything, it's going to get better. That journey you thought you were walking alone, you will not walk alone anymore because now they're going to be, like I told you, they're waking up. We're all waking up 144 at a time, okay? 144 at a time. And eventually, that journey that you walk alone will start to fill up with people who are now walking, um, who are also walking the same path as you. And it will not seem lonely. You will have something to talk about. You will have stuff to talk about. People will be more on that level, you know, but you don't hold on to them. What you do is you converse. Okay, you don't call them your soulmate because you guys agree on the same things. You don't do that. Your soulmate is the one, your soulmate, twin flame, the one is the one who actually can see your soul, who recognizes you from many lives. That is the only one. There is no other ones. So we have to stop denying this shit to make off to for profit. There is only one, all right? And you cannot be, I'm just gonna keep it real. People not gonna like this, but I don't really care. I'm gonna speak my truth because I know one day this shit will be exposed for what it is. You cannot be two men on a twin flame journey, and you cannot be two women on a twin flame journey. Take it how you want to take it. It's the truth. The universe is not going to stop procreation because they need us. Okay? The goal is to stop procreation. And if you choose to live in that, you will find out by desiring childbirth or desiring a seed. And you will promote, if you're a toxic person that lives in that frequency, you would approve of all of AI technology giving you a tube baby, which is not organic. You understand me? They've been doing this shit for years. So you be mindful who you looking at because you could be looking at test tube babies and you don't even know it because they look like you or they look human. Okay? You got to pay attention to what's going on. They've been doing sperm banks. Okay? They've been doing all these things, you know, since we were children and when our parents were children. They've mastered all this shit a long time ago. We just don't care enough because we give a fuck about Cardi B. We give a fuck about these all these transitional people because to them it's normal. They're gonna make it the new norm. I don't think so. It's not normal. It's not normal. To be normal is to be living according to your purpose. And temptation is pulling these masculines out of their unions. Just because your union didn't manifest the way that you want it with your divine masculine didn't mean don't mean it don't exist. It just means that there is a toxic program that must be broken. And it first starts with you. All right. So, all right, y'all. Let the explosions begin. Let them begin. All right. Stop idolizing. Shit, like I said, don't even idolize me. All right. Um, and I keep that real because I don't want power over anybody. I just want you to know that you questioning what's going on in the world is what you're supposed to do. It is called instinct. That is your natural instinct to question and to flee. Okay? But you don't question and flee with fear. You question and you flee when you figure everything out. And you move on to a different level of frequency. Okay? This is a world within worlds. You can live in a multi-dimensional world because this is a multi-dimensional world, all in your mind perspection. You can go outside and you can see dozens of people, but there will be only five of y'all on the same plane, okay? Or maybe like thousands of people, there'll probably be like five of y'all on the same plane. But like I told you, just because you meet someone that can converse with you and get along with you, don't mean that they are the one, or don't mean that they are a soulmate, or don't mean none of that shit. All right? That shit's gonna be exposed to. That shit's gonna be exposed to. All right? False teachings on the twin flame journey. All right? Because you will see these people will live according to, and you will see the difference between a false teacher and a true teacher. They both sound good, but they're living according to. You have to live according to. They cannot do that. A false prophet cannot live according. How they would say? How they say action speak louder than the words. And that's true. This information has been out here, y'all. Y'all just ain't pay attention. Action speak louder than words. Okay? That means you have to practice what you preach. And a lot of y'all will say, well, Essence, how do you know all this? It's because I'm practicing what I preach. You understand what I'm saying? And I walk. and I walk it. So when you walk it and you listen, that's why I say I only come on here when I'm guided. I don't just come on here just to profit off of money or just to get readings or anything like that. That's an offering because I believe in giving and receiving. But at the end of the day, I keep it 100. I keep it real raw because that is what's gonna take. Ain't no be no pre-record and uploads. No more of that shit. All right. I've shedded my alter ego. My alter ego was very colorful. It was very drawn because of the level of frequency that I was in. But the frequency that I'm in now, I know that there's not that many people on that level. So I know exactly what's going on. But my time will come where they will float my way because my information is raw and it's uncut and it's true. All right. They will flow towards it when the time is right. But right now, while people are still going through the shift, they cannot handle this message. They want to be told. They want to be told lies until they get tired of being told a lie. But these are what you would call deep sleepers, sleep sheep, grandiose narcissists. And these are the people, like I told you, these communities have been infiltrated with the people that they speak about. They're studying. They're studying what a better way. Because as you awaken, the devil is always trying to get crafty. Devil wants to always be ahead of God, but don't realize that God knows that he wants to be or it wants to be ahead of him. So the universe will never create anything that can destroy it. Hence why this plane is still here today. Okay, the stars are attempts on trying to get out. But at the end of the day, you think a star is a star. You think the moon is the moon. You think the sun is the sun. But you don't really know physically. You know consciously what it is. You know consciously. When you look at the stars, you ask yourself, what is that star? You were told that it were foreign planets, foreign starships, and foreign this. But you don't even realize that this plane's been here for years and years and years and centuries and centuries, centuries, decades, whatever. Those are attempts to try to get out of something. I don't even get too deep in it, but if you read in between the lines, I see fours. I see all fours lined up. Um, if you read in between the lines, all right, if you're in a cage, and this is not nothing to be afraid of. It's actually beautiful, to be honest with you, because that means we're all equal, and that's how we should be treating each other as equal. There should be no division as far as the equal respect is what it needs to be. There is no equal respect here. I respect you as a human having an experience on this planet just as well as you respect me as being a human experiencing. But do not cut into my destiny, and I won't cut into your destiny. But people will cover it up, all right? There is a difference. There's a difference between a female and a male, and that's that. If there was supposed to be one sex, there would be one sex. You understand what I'm saying? So the universe created what it knows it created, and that's that. A gift comes from man and woman. There is nothing that don't come from a woman, or man to man. We have to start waking up. I know a lot of y'all got little friends. I got listen, my mother, she's gay. My sister, she's gay. I don't hate gay people. I know that they're confused. My mother she was married and birthed several children. She had her life. But in between, her ego played tricks on her mind that she preferred to no longer be with men or whatever and decided. But by the time she decided, she was several children in. So it don't matter to me. I'm here. I'm here to speak my truth. So I don't hate anyone for their own mental illness. But it is, look at these dogs out here being free. Somebody lost their dog. There's a lot going on this morning out here. But anyway, let me stay focused. I don't need nothing to distract me from this message. All right? It's all love. It's all love. And you have to ask yourself, if you die today or tomorrow, will you be happy? Will you be fulfilled? And I'm not talking about fulfilled on your desires or anything like that. I'm talking about fulfilled in your mission, your destiny. Did you get close enough to that light? Did you do what you have to do? Or did you fuck off? Hmm? Did you handle your earthly responsibilities? Did you overcome these challenges? Or did you concede to the bullshit and became a product of your own demise? You have to realize what you give out, you will get in. What you give out, you will get in. Practice discernment because temptation is a motherfucker out here. It will fuck your mind and you will fuck your children's mind up and so on and so forth, like your parents did you. The world needs to be balanced. If the men are becoming overly feminine, because this is what's happening, men are becoming overly feminine, women are becoming overly masculine, and we are not playing our roles. Men are playing the roles of a codependent, needs to be taken care of today, and the females are playing a masculine role where the female goes out and takes care of the money, bring the food home, stuff like that. And it's not a lie, it's definitely true. And we have to either balance that out or put it back in order. But it's too much of imbalanceness going on. The men have to become the warrior, the protector of the feminine who has the womb to nurture the seed that they plant. It's just that order. A woman today is doing everything on their own. They have to bring the money in, they have to take care of the house, they have to make sure there's food on the table for their children, and the fathers are out fucking off, living their best life, losing their way because they are misled by the program, the leaders of the program, the leaders of the matrix that placed they placed, all right? The people have infiltrated the Garden of Eden, and it is the masculine energy, curiosity bites the dust, but it took curiosity to bite that apple. This is why I say it took two to tangle. Feminine and masculine bit that apple. All right, they ain't gonna be Eve just bit the apple and she destroyed everything. Woo woo, got kicked out the garden. No, they infiltrated the garden. This is the Garden of Eden. We are in the plane right now, and a lot of y'all are biting the apple. Okay, a lot of y'all are biting the apple in some way, shape, or form, and it's just normalizing the bullshit. Y'all normalizing bullshit, and you're not disciplined. Self love is discipline. Self love is to say that I know not to bite that apple. I know not to fall for temptation. I will not play a part in it because somebody else want to paint me a picture. The serpent, the serpent is a deceiver. Someone that came along and said, "Hey, that apple looks real sweet and shiny, you know, like your boy that I post on here. He is the serpent. I tell you all these good things. And you're going to see a lot of serpents coming to the light, baby. You're going to see it. You're going to see the sheep's in wolf clothing. The wolf, excuse me. I'm saying it backwards. Because there are some sheeps, like a lot of y'all are here hiding who you truly are. You got some sheep's in wolf clothing, you got some wolf in sheep clothing. You understand what I'm saying? You got some people that's really soft in the inside, sweet, empathic, but plays this role of a tough guy or a tough girl. And they're really sweet in the inside. So I'm not wrong for that. But you do have a lot of wolves in sheep clothing. And they can no longer keep that form of denial. And as the world ascends and shifts beyond the illusion, you will learn that in order for a pastor to be a pastor, okay, he is a passer, okay, he's a pass the information, okay, but a lot of pastors want you to worship them. They want you to worship them as your God. They want you to put money into their church, and you don't have to do that. Some people say, oh, you got to pay those tithes. You ain't got to pay tithes, okay? That's the giving and receiving, but you're not giving to this individual. You're giving to you're giving you're giving it to the community that they created, and then they take what they take off the top. So it's a false illusion. So if they said, if the pastor said, give me all your money, you know, and let me take it and go and live in a mini mansion. A lot of these people do that. You're gonna be able to tell them. You're gonna be able to tell them why their wives got Louis Vuitton purses, red bottom shoes. You're gonna be able to tell. You're gonna be able to tell because they walk a path. These these uh brands are demonic because people will kill for it. You understand what I'm saying? People will lose their mind for it. They will sell their children for it. They will sell their souls for it. It's demonic. So if you see a pastor driving around in a Benzo or a Lamborghini or whatever the fuck it is they do out here, Cadillacs and all that shit, and they're not just an average person like you, because you skimming off the top. He a hustler, he a panhandler in disguise. All right? And you gotta pay attention to what's going on out here. Stop being foolish. You're being the hangman, all right? Don't be the hangman anymore. Don't allow people to hang you. Don't allow people to manipulate you to hang you. It's not that game. We're not going to play that game. To win the game, like I would tell everybody, to win the game is not to play at all. Your purpose is already designed for you. All you have to do is walk it. It's already done. Everybody's getting back on path, which means you know and acknowledge you're off it. You know and acknowledge that there is a path, which means you get back on it and you stay on it no matter how lonely it looks. Just like the yellow brick road. She started off alone. Along the way, she came across some people or some beings or some species or whatever, different sources of energy that was on the path as well to finding self. You know, eventually at the end of the road, you're gonna have to make a decision to go home, which will be to return back to your true essence. These beings were forms of the child trauma. Some, like, if you paid attention to the Wizard of Oz, um, it was pretty much like her uncle. Like, these people played a role. They were like her uncle, her siblings, and all this stuff. They played a role of some people lacking courage, some people lacking their heart and all and so strength and all that and wisdom, all that. Those are the elements of you that you are missing. Why do you tolerate what you tolerate? Why do we tolerate false prophets? Because they say things that get the message, okay? You guys learn not to shoot the messenger. That's good. But get the message and move forward. Don't turn the messenger into your soulmate because it sounds good. Don't turn the messenger into somebody that you gotta idolize. Get the message. This message is to get you to the next level. Okay? People that become messengers, okay, have mastered that element, has mastered that realm, and are gatekeepers to help you get to the next level. Once that gatekeeper no longer chooses to stay a gatekeeper and they descend back into the realm of illusion, which is to be weak, to be to seek attention using the power that they mastered because they see how many people that they're helping, they lost their way. They will fall back down into temptation. All right. And then and, you don't, like, the gatekeeper does not stay there. The gatekeeper graduates as well. Okay. So you can ascend and you can descend. The gatekeeper will have to start all over from square one, and they will go from being a messenger to a receiver, which is someone who forgot their way and fell back. Just see, like, it's like a steps. When you go up and you trip and you fall like Biden, tripping and shit, you gotta regroup, all right, and you gotta get your shit together, and you gotta walk back up them stairs with confidence. You know, that trip is more like a glitch in your matrix, literally. But you gotta learn the difference between something that's real. If you know that there's a TV, if you companies got come on, you gotta think deep. If you know that there is a TV, you know that this TV can give you a perception of whatever it wants to give you. Why do you want to make the TV your God? Why do you turn your phone into your God? Okay? That TV is temporary. So are you. So why would you use a temporary guidance to guide you when you have an internal intuition that don't go anywhere? It will always and have always been there. Your TV will break down 3 years later if it's not brand new. You have to have warranty to get it refixed, right? You have to same thing with your cell phones. Pay attention, right? Discipline yourself. Take your power back. TV shouldn't have your power. Neither should your cell phone. Use it for the greater good, like being on here and gaining this wisdom to make you strong enough to put it down. All right? If you get up every day with the anxiety of you needing to pick up that phone to see if someone hit you up, and the anxiety of you're normalizing this new program that's toxic. It's not part of your nature. This phone is a foreign entity. It's a foreign entity. It can be used for greater good, or it can be used for destruction. All right. It could be a blessing in disguise, and it can also be a toxic temptation to pull you in, all in the levels of your own mind. All right. So, all said is stop idolizing and get the message. All right. I'm sorry for those who did follow this guy and really looked up to this guy and it helped. Some of y'all, he might have helped. This is why some of y'all will be like, hey, well, I forgive him. You can forgive, but you will never forget. You will never forget. He's just an average Joe. Just got extra likes and views. That's all, and a little bit of money. I don't know, but just somebody with likes and views. That's not the way of the world. The way of the world is not likes. How many people like you? How many people hit subscribe to you? It's not about that. It's not about that. People are making that a trend. People are trending stupid ass shit. Like the Bussy challenge. That shit is stupid. It's a split personality exposed. Y'all gotta look at shit the way that it is. Bust. I didn't know what the fuck that was until I watched the video the other day. I've seen it around, but I didn't pay attention to it. All it is somebody who was an average Joe flipping itself onto some, looking like a clown, a beautiful clown at that. No hating. But the reality of it is a split personality. It's ego versus the reality. Okay? And they do all this sexual shit and then how they looking all handsome on their best day. Come on. That's just a split personality. That means you know that you are not who you are. So stop wearing that fake up and stop wearing that bullshit ass. Stop wearing shit that ain't yours. You know what I'm saying? It's not natural. We made it. We made it. We promoted it, and I'm wrong for that too. And I'm repenting. And this is why I started growing my natural hair, stop wearing nails and shit, because I don't want to be a product of toxic illusion. All right. So like we all got some shedding to do. Nobody's perfect. But at the end of the day, be mindful. Be mindful. All right. So anyway, yeah, this is a prime example of masculine being exposed, and this is the way your masculines, whether they're feminine masculine who carries the masculine energy, and you could be a feminine, you could look like you could be a feminine in the masculine energy, and you could be a feminine in your masculinity, which means like a femme, um, in your masculine energy. It just don't make you a man. You will never be a man, and a man will never be a woman. It don't matter how deep you go with it. God has designed woman as a woman and man as a man for a reason. Eve didn't come from the Adam. Eve didn't come from the rib of Adam. Eve came from the ether, and so did Adam. Before there was Eve, there was Lilith, and a lot of y'all, um, some of y'all don't know that. Some of y'all, I'm not a Bible thumper, but I do study. I study all things. I study all religions, study all preachings and teachings because each one of these have uh they have some truth in it. All right. Based off of your perspective, some people will say, well, Adam and Eve is the ether. They both came from the ether. They both came from the universe. It's just that simple. But on the earthly plane, we want to say that Eve came from Adam because we want to believe that it's a man's world. Let me tell you something. There is equality on this planet. Woman needs man, man needs woman, and that's just it. We are both brought here to procreate. Um, we're not brought here to procreate with five different baby daddies, okay, and seven different baby fathers. We're not here to do that. That's toxicity. You were supposed to wait. We were supposed to wait, and you know, before I met my twin, I told the universe that I was done. You know, I've had a baby with a karmic that I would have been married to if I, didn't find my true purpose. When I found my true purpose, I said I was not going to have any more children until I found my husband. And when I found my masculine, he dropped. First of all, I came across my masculine maybe a year or two after I met my karmic, but it was more of a virtual thing. And we had so much in common. And when I first saw my masculine, I said, you know what? I don't want him because he looks like my type, but he also give me that vibe of a player. And I wasn't wrong. So I trusted my first gut instinct and I let him go. Like we didn't meet physically. This is all the vibes that I was getting off of him. So I didn't let my desires for the man that I want to be with blind me. And years later, this man he was always looking for me, but I didn't know he was the one. But he did remind me of somebody that I envisioned. And this person manifested. He literally moved here into town maybe two years later. But I wasn't talking to him because we both agreed that we both was in the same boat where we had karmics and we had children by. I only have one. I have two kids. I have one. Um, before I met him, and then what else happened? We ended up. Once I gave myself to God and I said, you know what, it's a wrap. I'm gonna leave it in God's hands. I surrendered. All of a sudden, I felt this pull and this drive, and it led me right to my what you would call twin flame, which is the other half of myself. Um, Normally, I would run from a man like this. I would run from him. I would run from a narcissist. I didn't know nothing about narcissists until 4 years later. No, excuse me, I'm lying. I didn't know about narcissists until like 2 years later. 2 years ago, that's when I came across narcissists. Um, that's when I found out about. I didn't know shit about it. I knew that there was a toxic energy, a toxic way of other people. I realized I ran it like my masculine taught me a lot of shit by being who he is today. It's teaching me a lot about the way of the world. I don't hate my masculine for being who he is. You know, me, I thought I was just perfect. I was gonna go and live this perfect life with my karmic. We were gonna go have the perfect the picket fence, all that. Everything was good. And here he came, dropped right in my life, and it is what it is. And I accepted my challenge, and it's been a journey ever since. So I've been on my journey physically for 10 years, off and on, in and out, running, chasing, um, for 10 years. And before that, it's been 13, 14 years. Yeah, it's been about 12 years since we first came into contact that I recognized the universe pulling us together. So it's been about 12 years because I met the masculine, not physically, but we first came into contact a year after me and my karmic. But you know, it's that's that. So I don't hate anything. I trust the universe, and I'm just learning by living according to it, and I'm able to come on here and tell y'all. People don't live by it. Uh, a lot of people are actually deciding to accept a soulmate or accept a karmic mate. That's all it is a karmic mate, just covered up with the title of soulmate, because people want to justify the fact that they're more happier with their karmic. But you are falling for temptation. That's all. Temptation comes wrapped in a bow. All right. That dealing with a karmic is not a blessing in disguise. All right. It is actually a disguise of trauma. All you're going to do is reflect the fact that you still have a wound to heal of your own. People that run to karmics and run to people outside of themselves is just people that's unhealed. And you will never heal if you run to somebody so fast. Like my masculine will never heal if he continues to keep seeking validation. So it's nothing to do with me. Some people will say, it's a reflection of you and your masculine. No, we reflect spiritually. Our souls twine, yes. That is the reflection of our souls. Physically, at times when we are not, let me see, when we are not aligned and one is going one way and the other is going the other way, in order for you to reflect, you both have to be going the same way. You both have to be running. You both have to be, you both have to chase in order to be in full union. You both have to chase each other. In order for you not to be in union, you both have to run away. So both of y'all are running away. So we both are running away, and I agree to that. But I'm more running towards my path, and my masculine's going the other way. The masculine wants to live his life. He hasn't learned enough, and I'm allowing him to. I'm allowing him. I'm not gonna chase him. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna blow his phone up. I'm not doing that. You have to give masculines time to grow. Experience is their best teacher. Experience is all of our best teachers. And a lot of y'all will heed my message, but y'all won't experience it. Y'all won't get it. It won't click until you actually experience it. All right. Um, so that's just what it is. So y'all put the two and two together. We got to wise up. Okay. We are not this freaking dumb. We are not this fucking stupid. We cannot be this fucking ignorant. We have to be smart. We are listen, the people that created all this is no smarter than you. You can do it too. They just don't want you to. Okay, they want you to be lazy. You can make anything. You can do it. Anybody can do it. I know I can, but I don't ever, never, ever try to go against the creator that created all things. I'm a part of the creator, and I know my place. If you know your place, you'll live according to. So, like I said, a lot of masculines are being exposed. They will be because the portal's open, and the return of souls, which is people waking up and realizing something's not right. The return of souls. This portal is wide open. All right, this is over the plane. Okay, over the plane. It's not just here. This opening is return. Is the return of what y'all would call in the Bible Christ, Yahweh, or whoever the fuck it is you praise. And I say that that way because it's a word. This frequency is coming. It is manifesting. People are dropping back into their bodies. Narcissists are just soulless beings. Their souls are coming from the five dimension. They're no longer in the fourth dimension talking to the bodies and trying to guide them. They're falling into the bodies, including you. Your body, you've already became one with yours. You just have to relearn how to use your body. You have to relearn how to stay conscious. You have to relearn. It's like a baby learning how to crawl before it walks. You have to learn how to be one with yourself. And that's it. A lot of y'all have manifested down and didn't know what to do. You found yourself in a lonely world. Well, your soul has been trapped into that realm a long time, and it will seem that way for a little while. But you'll be all right. Sit down, relax, allow the soul to help you recognize itself within you. Okay, you are one now. And those who are just awakening, this big, wide awakening, this great awakening is going to be like a bunch of people like just don't be just control the body. Don't let it get up and run rapid. Your ego is going you're gonna have an ego death. All right. It's you're all gonna experience dark night of the soul several times. Your ego is gonna say, hey, let's go and have a drink. Let's go chill with the friends and stuff like that. Let's go do some stupid shit we've been doing all these years. Let's go have dumbass conversations about somebody else. Let's talk about it. Let's go and judge others, but tell them not to judge us, but judge us and judge, and then without judging yourself. No, sit your body down, meditate, allow the soul to fix you. Your soul is your mechanic. You are the vehicle. Allow the soul to fix you. Turn off your TV, turn off your phone, sit your butt down in a corner somewhere or somewhere wherever you're comfortable. Take a nice hot bath or a hot shower, wherever you get your alone time away from anyone else, you know. And if you're get a private time together, just learn how to take private time to yourself. Get off, take your watch off, take your jewelry off, take anything that's not of your flesh off, and just you as if you was Adam again in the garden and you as an Eve again in the garden, repenting, and be naked on your own time. Okay? On your own time. If it is nighttime, light a candle. Okay? Light a candle. Whatever of your choice. There's no specific one, which means you are lighting that flame within yourself, your soul. All right? And you, if you're in the dark, learn how to get rid of your fears of the dark and relax. So, like, if you're sleeping, all right, you got some people that sleep with nightgowns on, okay? Try to learn how to sleep in the nude, all right? Um, when you take your shower, most of the times you can do it when you're taking your shower, cause, or you're taking a bath, cause you're already naked or whatever. Just Strip yourself of all the false illusions and really take a look at yourself and judge yourself and tune yourself up. All right, it's just that simple. It takes no more than 5 minutes or so to acknowledge yourself for who you are, without makeup, without weave or extensions or clip-ins, without lashes, and really actually spend time loving you and stop trying to compete with the world. You will never win when you're in a world of competition. To win is to never compete in the first place. That is how you win because you can never lose. It's just that simple. The knowledge is out here. Stop letting them docile you and put you in a deep state in your mind and elevate to the forefront. A lot of y'all was in a deep state of your mind, like the movie Get Out. Somebody put your ass in a trance years ago, and you fell deep within your mind, and you became your own intuition. Your intuition is you. All you have to do is come to the forefront, awaken, awaken, and take accountable for your actions. Be responsible because each and every one of y'all will be a part of change in the matrix. Change for the better, not the worse. Knowledge is power and it will set you free. And for those who choose not to be set free, that it's going to happen regardless. So it's best to do it the easy way where you can actually take your time and grow. Use this time to grow before that rude awakening comes. That rude awakening is you're going to see what you fear and you're going to face it without choice. You don't get to choose a karmic. You're going to end up facing your partner left and right, these up and down emotions, because the time you were in physical separation, you were supposed to maintain, control your emotions. That way, if your partner comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes, you are able to shift and shift, shift and shift, shift from loving yourself to shift from loving your partner to shift from loving yourself to your partner to you. You know, your self love has to be there. A lot of y'all are just shifting to love your partner and you're forgetting to love yourself. And that way, when they shift, you shift with them and you go right into their Pandora's box. And now you're hurt and now you're trapped in and you can't get out of it because you didn't master self love to get yourself out to recognize who you are as your own individual. All right? So be mindful. All right. So I hope this helped some people really help some of y'all. And I know it's going to really piss off a lot. It's going to only piss off people who are still believing in the false reality. That's all. The old reality is coming to an end. It is the end of the falsehood. It is the end of the devil's game. It is the end of false reality. Okay? That reality that you knew of consciously on a divine level is the real reality you were supposed to have been living in. That is who you are. This false reality is causing you stress, causing you because you believe that this is the reality that you're in your mindset. You believe it's toxic for your partner to be out there dating other people, and you cannot chase them and stop them from doing that because it is not your body. You don't have control of their body. You only have access to their soul. So you do it there. You deal with it there. You face it. You accept it, and then it will manifest because the more people accepting their purpose and their path, the more people will wake up. Just like the more people worship demonic forces and the more people do wicked shit, it draw people in. So people are no longer wanting to live in darkness. They don't love the pain. They don't love the headaches. They don't love feeling worried. They don't love the toxic anxieties. They don't love chasing people. They don't love obsessing over anybody. They love their freedom. And the only way you're going to get that freedom is if you actually self love yourself enough to know that when everybody else shift, you don't need to shift with them because everybody's not shifting on a higher level. People are actually shifting to a lower vibration. All right. People are going to concerts and going out to the bars and going out to the strip clubs and going out to, people are not actually going to sit down at the park and listen to the birds chirp. People find that boring. So when, people live according to how they truly feel, just know that you don't need nobody to tell you that they're a good friend by telling you lies because eventually down the road your intuition will be right and it will tell you that you knew this person and this is why you had to pay the price because once your intuition says it right off back, that was you supposed to use your discernment enough to say, you know what, I trust my intuition. you know I know a lot of y'all was saying there's something not right with this man. He's too perfect. He's too perfect, right? Too perfect, right? Just too perfect. Well, now you know. Now you know what his secret was. His secret is that he is no different from the rest. He is no different from the rest. So hopefully you have enough self-love enough to know to stop idolizing people and start idolizing yourself like you would idolize people. Be driven to yourself like you will be driven to others. Don't hold on to people. Okay? Get your messages and move forward. A stranger will come up to you and say just exactly what you want to hear. That don't mean you can idolize them, worship them, lift them, and put them on a higher pedestal. Do not give anybody your crown. Do not give anyone your crown. Okay? So stay in your power, stay in your knowing, stay on your throne, and allow everyone else to keep scrabbling while you watch down and you look at them saying, wow, I used to be like that. I've come a long way. And accept your growth and live it. Don't just talk it. Don't say I'm on a twin flame journey and go date karmics. That's not living according to your divine purpose. That is deceiving your divine purpose, and you will deceive others along the way because people who talk about this stuff, they actually are laid up with a karmic and they're telling you, they're reading your fortune and they're telling you that you need to go and be with a soulmate slash karmic mate because you can live your life. If you do that, you will suffer more by realizing that because if that person's twin flame come into their life and they're that honest good person that's healed already, they would abandon you. They would abandon you. So going to get somebody else's healed partner because that person has learned their life experiences and that person has went through their trials and tribulations and they are ready for that commitment. You're gonna take somebody else's work that they put into because you're not putting the work in for you. That's what the reality is. It's either that or you're not that person's twin. So you're better off saying the honest truth is that's not my twin. I was just obsessed over that person. And that's that. But that is how you will separate the karmic, the false twin, from the real twin. The false twin would be easily able to live in denial, easily able to walk away. But the true twin will not be able to walk away. It will eat your consciousness alive. It will continue to remind you of your place, and it's not going anywhere. Practice what you preach. Me, I do it myself. I'm celibate. When I'm not with my twin, I'm celibate. When I allow my twin to come in, all right, that's our testing time. We bonding. If he is not strong enough to handle who I am, which is him in a different form, then he is not ready, then he will leave. Most of the time, I usually tell him to leave. He doesn't want to leave, but I usually tell him to leave because of the simple fact that I'm not ready. Now I'm in the runner stage, but I'm not running from him. I'm running, well, people would say I'm running from, but I'm running more towards, I choose my soul. I choose God. I choose him in his divine form, not his ego form. And he has to catch up. That's just that simple. If you're a divine on the path and you're actually choosing your divine purpose and you're moving forward, the masculine has no choice but to ascend if he wants to be with you. And that's it. If you descend, the masculine say, all right, come be with me, and I will change. It will come. It will come. Oh yeah, it's gonna come. You're gonna come when you're ready. You come into my life and we're bonding and I hit you with the truth and you're not ready for the truth, you still need time. You supposed to, you know, you guys are supposed to overstand each other, which means you're not understanding, you're overstanding each other. And because one overstands, the other understands, you're still not balanced. So you keep moving forward. The masculine will chase you, and the masculine has to learn. Well, I want my feminine, or I want my feminine back. So I'm ready to do what I have to do to get this person back. I'm ready to study, and I'm ready to teach, and I'm ready to listen to the Most High, which is the Spirit. And the Spirit's going to teach the masculine the same thing they taught the feminine, how to love unconditionally. And it's going to take a lot of shedding. It's going to take a lot of shedding. It's going to take a lot for that masculine to be a serial cheater all the way up to being faithful, celibate. It's going to take self control. Masculine's got to balance his kundalinis out. Masculine got work to do. And the only way the masculine is going to do that work is if you give them the space to do it. Then, when they've mastered all elements, you guys will come together. And I know some of y'all will say, well, narcissists know how to manipulate. Narcissists are temporary. It's temporary, it's a temporary thought pattern. If you continue to speak and you stay in your faith and continue to walk in your path, this is exactly why his wife continues to overcome her demons. It may seem like a sign of weakness. It may seem like a sign of confusion, but that is what happens when you're dancing with the devil. She has to, his wife, as you as well as the masculine's wives, separation or not, have to continue on your path of faith. Faith is the guide, faith is the goal, light is the way, and you keep going. Despite what everybody else thinks, you keep going forward. Do I advise her to stay in her relationship? If it is toxic, absolutely not. In that case, it's toxic. To her, it's nothing because she's overcome so many different challenges, just as if a feminine in separation would. Okay, this woman has carried masculine energy and still carries her masculine energy, but she is trying to learn, but she has to relearn. She has to relearn, and she has to step into her feminine. She's going through her masculine and feminine. Uh, she's going through that masculine and feminine um, identity crisis in her mind due to her childhood. So you have to, she has to take separation. She has to separate herself. She might not want to divorce him because if she does, she will lose him, is what she believes. So she's still holding on to that. But he will never know what he has until she's gone completely, where she's more focused on herself. You can't be in the presence of your masculine who is toxic and think that just staying in the same room as them, they're gonna miss you. No, you're still inside. You're still in sight. It's out of sight, out of mind, right? So if you take the physical away from the view, they will have to deal with the mind. They will have to deal with the loss. They will have to deal with the hurt. And they will have to deal with the mind constantly rewinding, and reminding and reminding them of what they had. This is why separation physically is good for you feminines, because it is reminding these masculines. Now, a lot of y'all will say, well, they will run to another. If they run to another female, it's either one, you're not the one, or two, they're just running from the fact that they are trying to find you in someone else. Like my masculine told me, Ada, you got to pay attention and read between the lines when these masculines are dealing with their egos. And it's like I told you, it's like schizophrenia. A part of the truth come out and a part of the lie come out. But the truth will come out first. So my masculine already told me, this is what gives me peace, is because I learned how to read between the lines. My masculine has already blurred out that he just can't find me in someone else. He said, I thought I can go and find you in someone else. I can find this whole experience with someone else. I actually recorded a video of him and I one time chilling and laying in the bed one time, with clothes on. And I was noticing him being pulled towards me. All right. It was my masculine laying next to me. His head was, the bed was leveled. He's a heavier guy than me. So if anything, he wouldn't pull towards me. Like, you have to do the mathematics on gravity, if there is such thing, gravity, or whatever it is. You have to do the angle of the sun, the moon. You got to pay attention to these stuff, because if you do it, you will see things happening. You will see things aligning. Like, my masculine's head was moving towards me, not once, as he was in a deep sleep because he was snoring. As he was in a deep sleep, he had no control over his body. He was moving his head towards me, and he is a more heavier one than me. So I noticed that. I was tripping, my ego mind. This is before I knew who he was. My ego mind was like, why he playing games? You know what I'm saying? Playing games, fake sleeping. And then I hit him, and he woke up and then fell back to sleep. A few seconds later, when he fell back into a deep sleep, it did it again. See, the universe had a way of showing you things. Like, so many supernatural things have happened that I would just be scared of. But I don't want to live in fear. So he did that a couple times. I recorded it. I don't have the recordings anymore. I wish I did. If I did, I would have showed y'all. My goodness. But I don't have those phones anymore. So long ago. Um, there was a time. Oh yeah. So let me finish. And I recorded him. I was like, I was on my phone. I was looking at my Facebook, whatever. So I was like, this was like years ago, like 7 years ago. And I was recording him, and I showed him the next day. I was like, yo, why was you playing last night? He was like, playing? I wasn't playing. Playing what? I said, you don't remember this? And I actually showed him, and he was like, wow. And he said, off rip, it's that magnetic pull. It's that magnetic pull to you. Because mind you, he'd been looking for me all his life. He knew that I was out here, you know. He's even told women that he's dealt with that he's looking for the specific woman. Okay. But him dealing with his ego, the specific woman, was the opposite of me. Was me, but the opposite of me. His ego was like, no, she's more pale skinned. She's more uh pale Afrocentric, you know. But he knew deep down inside that no, she's a black woman. She's an Afrocentric black woman. You know what I'm saying? He knows this. And then he has childhood wounds that he's experienced that he has to heal. A lot of these masculines do. A lot of us feminines do. And we have to heal physically that childhood wound because that's a memory that's stored. You pretty much have to literally know it's a memory, understand it's a memory, and learn from that memory, and then move forward. But a lot of us are not learning from our life experiences to stop the cycle, because you will carry that cycle on. The predator becomes the victim, becomes the predator. And that is how a lot of these grow up. A lot of victims turn into the predator themselves, okay, because they have not learned from their